Hi, this is Mike Furchess, and I'm back with you here for the Movie Guys. Again, I want to remind the folks that are tuning in, you can find out more about us by visiting Facebook, www.facebook.com/Wichita Movie Guys. Now, my guest, as they are just about every week, but not every week, is my wife, Mary Jane. Say hey, Mary Jane.
Hey.
You can do better than that, can't you?
Hey, Mary Jane.
Okay. We got a couple of theatrical releases that we're doing for you on today's program. One that's been out for about a week and a half, and another one that's just came out. Let's do the one that's been out for about a week and a half, because if we don't do it soon, people won't be catching it in the theaters. And that is the movie Breaking In. Tell us some about what you thought, Mary Jane. Give us the premise of what Breaking In is.
Breaking In is a female
mama
who is tough as nails, and the guys they don't plan on her being as tough as she is. The trailers show most of the.
Yeah, if you've seen the trailers, you've pretty much seen the movie.
If you've seen the trailers, you've seen the movie. It's a predictable movie, but it was sort of fun to see a strong female lead take out some bad guys.
Yeah. Gabrielle Union stars in the movie. She plays the part of Sean Russell. And I thought the movie started out really promising. You see this older gentleman in a fairly well-established neighborhood, and he gets up and he goes out and takes a jog, and needless to say, we find out later on through a series of events that is Gabrielle, her character Sean's, that's her father, who is hit and killed by a guy driving a car. And there's a presumption of whether or not it's an accident, and later on through the process of the movie we kind of find out that it's really not an accident. Mary Jane, like she said, it's extremely predictable. And I'm going to tell you, I was very disappointed in the movie. We need strong female characters in movies, don't we?
Yeah.
And sometimes we give credit to a strong female character, but it's done so poorly. And it's not that she's a bad actress. The storyline
didn't give a whole lot of background about her relationship with her dad, and why they were going to his house to settle his estate. I mean, it just sort of jumped right into that, and you didn't have much background of.
The dad's killed. I mean, you've got to assume that off the bat, and it may be a bit of a spoiler, but not really. He's killed, and she and her kids go to his house to get everything ready to settle the estate. And while they're there, these guys all break in. Now, among the guys breaking in, I'm trying to think, Richard Gabriel. You may know him from the television series Zoo. He was in one of the characters in that series that I think he does a decent job. But here there's no depth to his character or really any character in the show. And again, very disappointing, weak female character, not very strong. What else would you say about it? I didn't find the music enjoyable. I didn't find nothing good about the lighting or anything like that, in that it's dark themed. But you want so much, and you have the belief that this is going to be a very strong female character, and she's just not. So it's unusual that we say things like this, but even as we were leaving the theater, there were a number of ladies that were sitting behind us that were talking about how much they did not enjoy the movie. And that's unusual to say that. So we were not the only ones. I think we were the only people that stayed to the end of the credits. I always do that. But I think as soon as the credits started, everybody left. I mean, like right away, there was no reason to stick around. So your thoughts on the movie, what you'd rate it, or any other general thoughts before we get to the next review, which we'll talk a little bit more about.
Well, like I said, to me, it was pretty predictable. You knew what was going to happen. And so I'd give it maybe a 6.
We've been married for almost 40 years, and I have to wonder where she's coming from sometimes. And that goes to show that you can have a disagreement in a marriage and still maintain a lengthy marriage. I thought it was extremely predictable. I really did not enjoy the film at all. I'd give it a 3. She liked it twice as much as I did, and I don't know how. I'd give it a 3. I mean, do you agree, though, that we need to see strong female characters? And the previews and the trailers for this gave the impression that it was going to be a very strong, and she's strong. I mean, she's basically like a Steven Seagal lady that kicks rear end of everybody that breaks into the house.
I was looking for someone to be like Bruce Willis. What were those movies that he was in where he was the detective and he has to.
I don't know. We're supposed to be the movie experts.
I know. I remember the
Die
movie.
Hard. Was it Die Hard? Yeah. Okay. Woo.
I was expecting more of like a Die Hard female tougher lady than that, but
No, she wasn't.
But
It's bad. So I would encourage you, don't waste your money. Wait till it comes to streaming television if you really want to see the movie, and you'll be glad you did. And if you're not, I'm sorry, but that's just what I think. I don't think it was all that good. So that's Breaking In. We'll be back with you in just a second, and we're going to be talking about a new movie that's in theaters right now that's doing really well, starring Ryan Reynolds. And if you don't know what that film is, Deadpool. Hey, this is Mike Fursis back with my wife Mary Jane. We're back to talk about a new movie that's doing blockbuster numbers in the theaters. And that movie is starring Ryan Reynolds.
Deadpool.
A little bit of discussion. It's kind of fun to do this movie after doing that last Breaking In review. And the reason I say that is that here's the typical discussion about Deadpool. Did you like it more than the first one, or which one do you think is best? We were talking about this earlier, our producer Kyle and I liked the first one better, but if I had to nail down a reason why, I don't think I could. Now that said, outside of a bad theater experience, I'm going to say some more about this here in a moment, I laughed. I mean, it was a literal laugh out loud movie. Reminded me of The Kingsman. You know, there's something about when a movie can get it to where a head's getting blown off and there's blood going everywhere, and you're there laughing about it. It's hilarious. But I loved it. Mary Jane, your initial thoughts before we get into the depth of what the movie's about and some of the things we liked.
I liked it a lot. I wouldn't say that I loved it.
Do you love me, Mary Jane?
I love you, but I didn't love that movie. I liked it. I really liked the character. There was some really funny stuff he said.
The opening sequence is so, from the very get-go in the opening sequence, I won't give away too much, but boy, is it so funny. Every one of the theaters were literally laughing out loud. There's a couple times I laughed so loud that I have tears coming down. And I've been fighting allergies, so that wasn't good, but it was still an experience. I don't know if you see a cameo in this by Stan Lee. I don't remember if it was, you don't see a cameo in this one per se in the typical fashion that Stan Lee normally does in a Marvel film. No. And I don't remember if he did a cameo in the first one or not. I tend to think that in the R-rated films he does not do that. Could be wrong on that. Some of the viewers watching this will know up one side down the other. But it's rated R. R means what, Mary Jane?
Restricted.
It's a restricted film, means no one admitted under the age of 18 without a parent or guardian. And some R-rated films will not allow you, if you're under the age of 18, in even with a parent or guardian. I think you need to be at least 15 to see this movie. You know, 13, 14-year-olds, can they see it? Can they relate to the storyline? Can they enjoy it? Probably. Should they is a whole other thing.
Yeah,
it is graphically violent, and when I say graphically violent, heads explode, arms cut off, blood squirting, you see body parts laying around, and the language is on its own. There was a day that because of the type of language that's in Deadpool, there's a day it would have garnered an NC-17 or an X rating, and some people may not believe that, but go back and look at the movie Midnight Cowboy, which was the first X-rated movie to ever win an Academy Award. It was not nearly as graphic and nearly as much language in it as Deadpool has now.
Yeah.
So,
it's got the language.
Well, one thing about it, before the film started, there was a family, a younger couple that came in with a child that was 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I mean, your thoughts on that?
They shouldn't have been allowed to bring him in.
I would not, if I was managing the theater, I would not have allowed to bring a child in that young to the show myself.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So.
They shouldn't. I would hope that her granddaughter doesn't see that.
Yeah, I would as well. I would hope that she doesn't see it. We see a list of new characters. We've seen the Justice League in a film. We've seen the Avengers. Then we see Deadpool's group, and they are quite entertaining.
Yeah, they are.
And we get a different scene later on in the movie of what actually happens. I like this thing where we can reverse time in comic books, and people need to remember that, especially maybe some of those Justice League or Avengers folks that are out there, especially Infinity Wars fans. Sometimes time can be reversed. But we see a great cast, supporting cast with Deadpool. The lady that plays Luck, and she's great in it. A young black actress, does a phenomenal job, very entertaining in the movie. And you ask yourself the question is, what kind of superhero has luck? You kind of have to see it to understand. So, other thoughts about the movie? I thought the special effects were incredible. The sound, the music, very similar to Guardians of the Galaxy in that the music is a part of the story.
The fight scenes are pretty graphic.
Yeah.
They are. I mean, of course, it starts pretty graphic.
It starts graphic from the get-go.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give the movie?
Oh, I'd probably give it an 8.
I think we're right on the, we're on track together. If I were to give the film a score on the scale of 1 to 10, I would as well give it an 8, maybe a little bit more than an 8, but not much more. But I would settle with an 8 for that review. It's a niche crowd. I'm going to tell you, if you are a conservative Christian, or if you're a conservative religious person of any faith bend, you're going to be offended and regret seeing the movie, unless you have an open mind and can see beyond the language and the story and some of the humor and some of the even social content that's in the movie. But I enjoyed the movie. It was an 8, and I thought it was well worth seeing. So that's Deadpool. Hope you if you enjoy that kind of movie, especially if you enjoy comic book genre style films, that you check this one out. It's definitely worth seeing. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
And we didn't disagree too much on the score of this one.
No.
No, the first one we did, not this one. Now, closing out each program, we say something we say every week. I'm going to let you say it this week, Mary Jane. What is it? Do you
Well,
remember?
I won't say it the way you say it because
Okay.
I won't quote you verbatim. But one thing that annoys both of us tremendously, if you're in the movies, turn your cell phone off. Don't just turn it down. Turn it off. If
Yeah,
you
some of
cannot
us-
leave your cell phone for an hour and a half or 2 hours,
Hello?
you're addicted to it, and you need to just
Yeah, she's right here. You'll
give it a
talk to her,
rest.
Mary Jane.
So,
I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Turn
I
'em
don't know
off.
how many times we've been to movies and people sitting down in front of us. You don't realize that little
Yeah.
phone
In
makes a
dark-
lot of light
That
when
little bitty
everything's
light
off.
shines awful big. I actually confronted a gal about this here about a month ago. What did she do? I said, "Why did you? Does your?" I said to her, "Does your need to be on your cell phone give you the right to ruin the movie for everybody?" I said that to her at the movie. What did she do? Do you remember?
Just turned it off.
No, she didn't. She went to the cops and said I had.
Oh,
threatened-
yeah, that's the one that she
Downtown
said that
one.
he threatened her. She
Said I
was
threatened
afraid. With the policeman escorted to her car after the movie, she was afraid Mike was going to come out and do
Thankfully,
something.
there was a black gentleman right next to me, and him and his girlfriend were said, "No, he didn't threaten nobody." And he was the one that got into it with him. But turn them off. Enjoy the movies. Thanks for watching the movie, guys. Take care. God bless.